The alarm bells rang through the Earth Defense Command building in Colorado Springs. Jake Harrison ran down the metal hallway, his boots making loud sounds on the floor. He had been sleeping when the emergency call came in. Something big was happening. Jake pushed open the heavy doors to the main control room. Inside, dozens of people sat at computer screens. The room buzzed with nervous energy. Everyone looked scared. "What's going on?" Jake asked Lisa Rodriguez, the head admiral. She stood in front of a massive screen that showed the darkness of space. "They're coming," Lisa said. Her voice was quiet but firm. "All of them." Jake looked at the screen. Tiny dots of light moved toward Earth from every direction. Ships. Thousands of them. More ships than Jake had ever seen in one place. "How many species?" Jake asked. 47, said Nathan Pierce from his computer station. Nathan was Earth's top expert on alien life. He studied the creatures from other planets. Member of the Galactic Council. They're all here. Jake felt his stomach drop. The Galactic Council was like the United Nations, but for the whole galaxy. Hundreds of different alien species worked together to make rules for space. Earth had tried to join them for 20 years, but the Council always said no. A loud buzzing. Sound filled the room. The big screen changed. Now it showed the inside of an alien ship. A tall creature made of blue crystal stood in the center. Its body looked like living glass, and its eyes glowed white. "I am Zethkar of the Crystal Collective," the alien said. Its voice sounded like breaking glass. "I speak for the Galactic Council." President John Carter appeared on a smaller screen. He was in the White House, talking to the alien from Washington. "We're listening," the president said. Zethkar's crystal head tilted. "The council has made a decision about your species. We have studied humans for 50 Earth years. We have watched your wars. We have seen your violence. We have observed your expansion into space." Jake gripped his hands into fists. He knew where this was going. "Humans are too dangerous to exist freely," Zethkar continued. "You fight each other constantly. You destroy your own planet. You cannot be trusted with advanced technology or space travel." Maya Thompson's voice crackled through the radio from her ship in orbit. "Sir, I'm reading massive energy signatures from the alien fleet. They're powering up weapons." "The Galactic Council has voted," Zethkar announced. The vote was unanimous. Every species agreed. Humanity will be enslaved. Your planet will become a resource extraction site. Your people will be relocated too. Work colonies throughout the galaxy. President Carter leaned forward. "You can't be serious." "We're completely serious," the crystal being replied. "Your species has had countless chances to prove you can live in peace. Instead, you wage wars over religion, resources, and territory. You build weapons capable of destroying entire planets. You are a threat to galactic stability." Jake watched. The numbers on the screens around him. Enemy ships surrounded Earth completely. The alien fleet had more firepower than every human military force combined. "We give you 30 of your solar cycles to prepare," Zethkar said. "Gather your populations. In designated zones, pair your strongest individuals for transport. Resistance will result in the complete elimination of your species." The transmission ended. The room fell silent, except for the humming of computers. 30 days, Lisa whispered. "They're giving us 30 days to surrender." Nathan turned from his screen. "The fleet composition is incredible. I'm seeing Zephyrian battleships, Corvin destroyers, Thraxi carriers. Every major military power in the galaxy is here." X studied the tactical display. Red dots surrounded the blue dot that represented Earth. "How did they coordinate this without us knowing?" "They've been planning this for years," Nathan said. "Maybe decades. This isn't a quick decision. They've been watching us, studying us, preparing for this moment." Maya's voice came through the speakers again. "Command, I'm seeing movement from the fleet. They're taking positions around our orbital stations. They're not attacking yet, but they're showing us they can." President Carter's image appeared on the screen again. "Citizens of Earth," he began, "I know you're all scared. I know this seems impossible. But I want you to remember something important about humanity." Jake listened to the president's words, but his mind was already working. 30 days. Aliens thought they were being generous. They thought humans needed time too. Accept their fate. They think our conflicts make us weak, President Carter continued. They think our wars prove we're savages. They're about to learn something about human nature that no alien species has ever understood. Lisa moved closer to Jake. Omega? She whispered. Jake nodded slowly. Protocol Omega was Earth's most secret defense plan. Only a handful of people knew it existed. They had been working on it for 15 years, ever since first contact with hostile aliens. Sir, Maya called. From orbit? The alien fleet is broadcasting something. They're showing images of human history. Wars, battles, destruction. They're using it as justification for their decision. On the screens around the room, images flashed. World War II, Vietnam, the Middle East conflicts, nuclear weapons exploding, cities burning, soldiers fighting. Look at your species, Zethkar's voice echoed through the transmission. Violence is your nature. Destruction is your legacy. The galaxy will be safer when you serve rather than lead. Jake felt anger rising in his chest. The aliens saw only the worst parts of humanity. They ignored everything else. The hospitals humans built, the art they created, the science they discovered, the way humans always helped each other during disasters. They don't understand us at all, Nathan said, quietly. They think our capacity for war means we can't do anything else. That's their mistake, Jake replied. He walked to the secure communication panel and entered his authorization code. All stations. This is Commander Harrison. Authorization Alpha Savan. Activate Protocol Omega. Full implementation. This is not a drill. Around the world, hidden facilities began waking up. Deep underground bunkers that had been waiting for this moment. Secret laboratories that had been developing weapons the aliens had never seen. Military units that had been training for scenarios. Exactly like this. Lisa smiled grimly. The aliens gave us 30 days because they think we need time to give up. They have no idea what humans can accomplish in 30 days when we're fighting for our lives. Sir, Maya reported from space. I'm detecting scanning beams from the alien ships. They're mapping our defenses, cataloging our military assets. Let them look, Jake said. Let them see exactly what they expect to see. Nothing more. The aliens would see Earth's regular military forces. They would count missiles and ships and soldiers. They would calculate that humans were completely outmatched. They would plan their occupation based on those numbers. What they wouldn't see were the secret weapons, the hidden ships, enhanced soldiers, the technologies that didn't show up. On any alien scanner, humanity had learned from every encounter with hostile aliens. They had prepared for this day. Nathan pulled up historical files on his screen. Every species that joined the Galactic Council had to prove they were peaceful. They had to show they could resolve conflicts without violence. But humans are different. We've always had to fight to survive. And that's exactly what we're going to do, Jake said. He looked around the room at all the people working at their stations. Men and women from every country on Earth, all working together now. They want to judge us by our capacity for war. Let's show them what we've really learned. From all that fighting, outside, the alien fleet waited in the darkness of space. Thousands of ships from dozens of worlds, all confident in their overwhelming superiority. They had no idea that humanity's greatest battles had always been against impossible odds. The countdown had begun. 30 days to save their species. 30 days to prove that humanity deserved freedom. 30 days to show the galaxy what happened when you cornered the most dangerous predators in known space. Jake Harrison smiled. Aliens had made their biggest mistake. They'd given humanity time to prepare. General Marcus is right, walked through the underground tunnel that stretched for miles beneath the Nevada desert. The tunnel had been built in complete secrecy over the past 10 years. Most people in the government didn't even know it existed. Marcus pressed his hand against a scanner. The heavy steel door slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside, the Omega Command Center buzzed with activity. Hundreds of technicians worked at computer stations that lined the walls of the massive room. Status report, Marcus said to his assistant. Colonel Steve Adams. All Omega facilities are online, sir, Steve replied. He handed Marcus a tablet computer. We have confirmation from all 7 continents. Every hidden base is ready. Marcus looked at the numbers on the screen. For 15 years, humanity had been building a secret defense network. They had learned from every alien encounter, every piece of crashed technology, every diplomatic meeting that went wrong. How long until the enhanced soldiers are ready? Marcus asked. 6 hours for the 1st Battalion, Steve answered. Full deployment in 3 days. In another part of the facility, Dr. Rachel Moore stood in front of a wall of monitors. Each screen showed a different alien ship in the fleet above. Earth. Her team had been studying alien technology since the first contact 20 years ago. The quantum disruption network is ready, Rachel told her assistant, Dr. Kevin Ross. We can activate it at any time. Kevin looked nervous. Are you sure it will work? You've only tested it on small alien devices. Rachel smiled. She had been working on this project for 8 years. Trust me. We flip the switch, every faster-than-light drive in the alien fleet will shut down. They'll be trapped in our solar system. The quantum disruption technology came from studying a crashed alien scout ship in 2089. The aliens thought the crash site had been cleaned up by regular military forces. They had no idea that human scientists had secretly taken the ship's engine apart piece by piece. Above ground, President Carter stood in the Oval Office with his top advisors. Through the window, he could see people in the streets of Washington. Some looked scared. Others looked angry. All of them looked determined. How are the evacuations going? The president asked his chief of staff, Tom Bradley. Better than expected, Tom replied. People are scared, but they're following the evacuation plans. The alien ships make it clear this isn't a joke. The evacuations were part of the deception. Humans were leaving the big cities and moving to smaller towns in the countryside. The aliens would see this and think humans were gathering in groups to be transported easier. They had no idea that every evacuation center was actually a hidden military base. Lieutenant Emma Davis coordinated the movements from a command center in Montana. She watched thousands of red dots move across a map of North America. Each dot represented a group of people following evacuation routes. Sector 7 is complete, Emma reported to her supervisor. All civilians have reached the safe zones. These weren't really safe zones for hiding. They were staging areas for the largest military operation in human history. Every person being evacuated had been given basic military training in the past 5 years. Every adult knew how to use weapons and follow orders. The aliens thought they were watching a frightened population preparing for surrender. Actually, they were watching the largest army ever assembled, getting into position, back in the Omega facility. Marcus Wright reviewed the battle plans. On his screens, he could see the positions of every alien ship. Human satellites had been secretly mapping the enemy fleet for days. The Zephyrians have their battleships in the outer ring, Marcus noted. Their weapons are the most powerful, but they're slow to move. Steve Adams pointed to another part of the display. Corvin destroyers are faster. They're positioned to respond to any escape attempts. Good, Marcus said. That means they'll group together when we spring the trap. Makes them easier targets. And Space Captain Maya Thompson floated in the command center of her ship, the Earth's Pride. Her crew worked quietly around her, preparing for battle. Maya's ship was one of 12 that the aliens could see. What the aliens didn't know was that there were actually over 200 human ships hiding throughout the solar system. Captain, her communications officer, called out, "We're receiving a message from the alien flagship." Maya activated the main screen. Zethkar's crystal form appeared again. The alien leader looked confident and calm. "Human vessel," Zethkar said. "You will prepare to receive our boarding teams. We wish to inspect your ship and weapons systems." Maya smiled. "Of course. We'll lower our shields and open our docking bays." Her crew looked surprised. Maya held up her hand to keep them quiet. "Thank you for your cooperation," Zethkar replied. "Our teams will arrive in 2 hours." The transmission ended. Maya turned to her crew. "Everything is going according to plan. When those boarding teams arrive, they're going to see exactly what we want them to see." Back on Earth, the secret preparations continued. In hidden factories, Workers built weapons that combined human engineering with alien technology. The weapons looked like regular human guns, but they fired energy beams that could cut through alien armor. Dr. Pierce worked in a laboratory deep under the Rocky Mountains. Around him, tanks filled with strange green liquid bubbled quietly. Inside the tanks, microscopic organisms swam and multiplied. "The biological agents are ready," Nathan told his team. "These organisms can survive in any environment. Metal and plastic. When we release them, they'll start breaking down alien ships from the inside." One of his assistants, Dr. Amy Foster, looked worried. "What if they spread to our own equipment?" Nathan held up a small device. "That's what these are for. The organisms will only attack materials that don't have this specific signal. Our equipment is safe." The biological weapons were Nathan's idea. He had studied samples from alien crashes and learned that most alien species used materials that these organisms would find delicious. The aliens would watch their ships dissolve around them. In another facility, technicians worked on captured alien communication devices. They had been intercepting alien messages for years, learning their languages and codes. "We can break into their communication network whenever we're ready," reported Lieutenant Dan Carter, the president's nephew. "When the fighting starts, we can jam their signals or send false orders." All across Earth, similar preparations continued. Ordinary-looking buildings hid advanced weapons. Regular soldiers received enhanced equipment that made them stronger and faster. Scientists finished devices that would give humanity advantages the aliens couldn't imagine. The aliens in orbit continued their scans of Earth. They saw military bases with outdated weapons. They counted missiles that couldn't reach space. They observed soldiers with primitive equipment. Everything looked exactly as they expected. What the alien scanners couldn't detect were the new materials human scientists had developed. Metals that didn't show up on alien sensors. Energy sources that looked like regular power plants. Weapons that appeared to be farming equipment until they were activated. Marcus Wright stood in the main command center watching reports come in from around the world. Every secret base reported ready. Every hidden weapon was charged and waiting. Every enhanced soldier was in position. "Yes, sir," Steve Adams said quietly. "We could activate everything right now, catch them completely by surprise." Marcus shook his head. "Not yet. Let them get comfortable. Let them think they understand us. When they start their attack, that's when we show them what humans are really capable of." Above them, the alien fleet waited patiently. 47 different species, all confident that humanity would surrender without a real fight. They had studied human history and seen only violence and chaos. They thought they knew what humans would do when faced with overwhelming odds. They were about to learn that human history had taught humanity something the aliens never expected. Every impossible situation had been overcome. Every hopeless battle had been won. Every time humanity faced extinction, they had found a way to not just survive, but to come back stronger than before. The countdown continued. 27 days remaining. But humanity was already ready for war. Admiral Lisa Rodriguez sat in her command bunker 2 miles underground. The bunker had been carved out of solid rock over the past 10 years. No alien scanner could detect it. Around her, dozens of officers watched screens that showed the alien fleet above Earth. "They're moving into position," reported Commander Jake Harrison. He stood next to a massive display that tracked every enemy ship. "The main fleet is entering Earth's gravity well." Lisa smiled grimly. The aliens were doing exactly what human planners had hoped. They were bringing their entire fleet close to Earth, thinking they needed overwhelming force to intimidate humanity into surrender. "How many ships?" Lisa asked. 3,247, Jake replied. "Every single alien vessel is now within range of our defense grid." Above them, the alien fleet moved like a dark cloud across space. Ships from 47 different worlds, each one representing a species that had voted to enslave humanity. The largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. All focused on one small blue planet, Captain Maya Thompson floated in the command center of her ship. Through the window, She could see alien vessels surrounding her. The enemy ships were so close that their hulls blocked out the stars. "Captain," her weapons officer called out. "The alien boarding parties are approaching. They want to inspect our ship." Maya nodded. "Let them come. Show them exactly what they expect to see." The alien boarding teams found outdated weapons and primitive technology. Maya's crew acted nervous and defeated. The aliens left satisfied that humanity posed no threat. What the aliens didn't notice were the small devices hidden throughout the ship. Devices that looked like normal equipment, but were actually part of the quantum disruption network. On the alien flagship, Zethkar studied reports from his scouts. Every inspection confirmed what the crystal being already believed. Human technology was decades behind alien science. Human weapons were crude and ineffective. Human morale was broken. "Begin the final approach," Zethkar ordered. "Position the fleet for occupation procedures." The massive alien ships moved closer to Earth. They spread out across the planet's orbit, preparing to begin the process of enslaving humanity. Each ship carried thousands of soldiers ready to land on Earth's surface in the underground command center. Lisa Rodriguez watched the enemy movements with satisfaction. "They're all exactly where we want them," she said to Jake Harrison. Jake checked his chronometer. Quantum Disruption Network is fully charged. Biological agents are loaded and ready. Enhanced soldiers are in position. Lisa turned to the communications officer. "Signal all Omega stations. Prepare for Operation Payback." Around the world, hidden facilities received the message. The Nevada desert, General Marcus Wright activated weapons systems that had been waiting 15 years for this moment. In the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Nathan Pierce prepared to release his biological agents. In orbit, Captain Maya Thompson's ship quietly powered up systems the aliens had never seen. Sir Jake reported. "All stations confirm ready. We can begin at any time." Lisa looked at the display showing Earth surrounded by enemy ships. 3,000 alien vessels, all confident in their victory. All about to learn what happened when you underestimated humanity. "Activate the quantum disruption field," Lisa ordered. Around the solar system, hidden devices came to life. Powerful energy beams shot out from asteroids, space stations, and camouflaged human ships. The beams were invisible to the naked eye, but they carried technology that would change everything. On the alien flagship, Zethkar noticed the first signs of trouble when his navigation officer called out in alarm. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy readings throughout the system," the officer reported. "Unknown technology activating on multiple vectors." Zethkar's crystal form darkened with concern.
What
kind of energy?" Before the officer could answer, every screen on the bridge went red. Warning alarms echoed through the ship. The faster-than-light drive systems were shutting down. The quantum engines were failing. The jump drives were going offline. "Report," Zethkar demanded. "All FTL systems are non-functional," the officer replied, panic in his voice. "We're detecting similar failures across the entire fleet. Every ship has lost faster-than-light capability." Zethkar felt something he had never experienced before: fear. Without FTL drives, his fleet was trapped in the human solar system. Couldn't escape. They couldn't call for help. They were alone with the creatures they had come to enslave in the command bunker. Jake Harrison watched the readings on his screen. Quantum disruption field is working perfectly. Every alien ship in the system has lost FTL capability. They're trapped. Lisa nodded with satisfaction. Phase 2. Activate the biological agents. Throughout the alien fleet, tiny organisms began appearing inside the ships. The creatures were so small that alien sensors couldn't detect them. They looked harmless, like space dust or cosmic debris. But they were actually the most dangerous biological weapons humanity had ever created. The organisms began eating. They consumed the special metals that alien ships were made of. They dissolved the plastic components of alien equipment. They multiplied rapidly, spreading through ventilation systems and computer networks. On a Corvin destroyer, the captain watched in horror as his ship's hull began developing holes. Metal panels simply disappeared, eaten away by invisible creatures. Life support systems failed as plastic tubes dissolved into nothing. "What's happening to our ship?" the captain shouted at his crew. His science officer ran tests on the strange organisms. They're biological agents. Engineered creatures designed to consume our ship materials. They're spreading throughout the fleet. Similar scenes played out across the alien armada. Zephyrian battleships found their armor plating turning to dust. Thraxi carriers watched their fighter bays collapse as support beams vanished. The fleet was being consumed from the inside. Lisa Rodriguez activated the third phase of the human response. Launched the enhanced soldiers. From hidden bases across Earth's surface, launch tubes opened that the aliens had never detected. Small, fast ships shot up from the planet, each one carrying a team of enhanced human soldiers. These weren't ordinary humans. They had been changed using alien biotechnology that human scientists had reverse-engineered from crashed ships. Were stronger, faster, and smarter than regular people. They could survive in space without suits. They could see in complete darkness. They could think and react faster than any known alien species. Colonel Steve Adams led the first assault team. His ship approached a crippled alien cruiser that was falling apart from biological agent damage. The alien crew was panicking, trying to evacuate their dying vessel. "Remember," Steve told his team over the radio, "we want prisoners, not bodies. We need to interrogate the command staff." Steve's team cut through the alien ship's hull like it was made of paper. Their enhanced strength let them tear apart metal with their bare hands. Their improved reflexes made them impossible for alien weapons to target. The alien crew tried to fight back, but they were no match for the enhanced humans. Creatures that had seemed invincible just hours before now cowered in fear as human soldiers moved through their ships like unstoppable forces of nature. On the flagship, Zethkar watched his fleet falling apart around him. Ships were breaking apart from biological damage. Human boarding teams were capturing vessel after vessel. His communications network was being jammed by signals he couldn't identify. "How is this possible?" he asked his officers. "Our intelligence reports said humans were primitive savages." His tactical officer studied the readings on his screen. "Sir, the humans have been planning this for years, maybe decades. Every piece of technology they're using is based on our own designs, but improved." Zethkar realized the terrible truth. Humanity had been studying alien technology from every crash, every diplomatic meeting, every piece of equipment they could get their hands on. They had taken alien science and made it better. "Sir," another officer called out, "Ow!" "We're receiving a transmission from the human planet." Lisa Rodriguez's face appeared on the alien flagship's main screen. She looked calm and confident. Nothing like the defeated human leader Zethkar had expected to see. "Attention, alien fleet," Lisa said. "You came here to enslave our species. Instead, you've just experienced what happens when you underestimate humanity. Your ships are disabled, your crews are being captured. Your fleet is defeated." Zethkar's crystal form trembled with rage and fear. "This is impossible. We had overwhelming superiority." Lisa smiled. "You had superior numbers? But you never understood what you were really fighting. Every war in human history taught us something new about combat. Every defeat made us stronger. Every enemy eventually became our teacher." Around Earth, the once mighty alien fleet drifted helplessly in space. Ships that had seemed invincible were now falling apart, their crews captured by the very species they had come to conquer. The trap had been perfectly sprung. The hunters had become the hunted. President John Carter stood in the captured alien command ship floating above Earth. The ship had been the flagship of the Zephyrian fleet just 6 hours ago. Now it served as a prison for the alien leaders who had voted to enslave humanity. Around him, enhanced human soldiers guarded dozens of alien prisoners. Each creature represented a different species from the Galactic Council. They all looked defeated and confused. Their mighty fleet was gone. Their plan had failed completely. "Bring me Zethkar," President Carter ordered. 2 soldiers dragged the crystal alien forward. Zethkar's blue body was cracked in several places from stress. His glowing eyes were dim with fear. You wanted to judge our species, President Carter said calmly. You decided we were too violent to exist freely. Now, you'll learn what we really learned from all our conflicts. Zethkar tried to speak, but his voice came out as broken whispers. How did you defeat us so easily? We had thousands of ships. You had numbers, the president replied. But you never understood what numbers mean to humans. Every time we've been outnumbered in our history, we've found ways to win anyway. Dr. Rachel Moore entered the command area carrying a tablet computer. She had been analyzing the captured alien technology for the past few hours. Sir, we've downloaded their complete database, Rachel reported. We now have the location of every alien homeworld, every military base, every government facility in the galaxy. President Carter nodded. How long until our ships can reach their worlds? With their own FTL technology installed on our vessels, we can be anywhere in the galaxy within days, Rachel answered. The alien prisoners heard this and began making frightened sounds. They realized that humanity now had all their secrets. Worse, humans had proven they could use alien technology better than the aliens themselves. On Earth, General Marcus Wright coordinated the largest military operation in human history. From the Nevada Command Center, he directed human forces throughout the galaxy. Strike Team Alpha has reached the Corvin homeworld, reported Colonel Steve Adams from his ship. The planet's defenses are down. Their military is requesting permission to surrender. Marcus looked at the tactical display showing human ships at 17 different alien worlds. Strike Team Beta, what's your status at the Thraxi capital? Complete success, sir, came the reply. We've captured their government building and military headquarters. No casualties on either side. The speed of the human advance shocked everyone, including the humans themselves. What should have been months of fighting was over in days. Alien civilizations that had seemed powerful were helpless against human tactics. Lieutenant Mavis managed the occupation forces from her command post in Montana. Her screen showed human soldiers on dozens of alien worlds, taking control of critical facilities. The Rylan High Command has agreed to all our terms, Emma reported to Marcus. They're offering complete cooperation. What about the Vorthan Empire? Marcus asked. Their emperor requested a personal meeting with President Carter. He wants to discuss surrender terms? Marcus smiled. The same aliens who had voted unanimously to enslave humanity were now begging for mercy. They had learned too late that humans were not the primitive savages they believed. Captain Maya Thompson commanded a human fleet that surrounded the Zephyrian homeworld. The planet's surface glowed with the lights of massive cities. Billions of crystal beings lived below, all waiting to learn their fate. Captain, her communications officer, called out, receiving a transmission from the planet's surface. Maya activated the main screen. A group of crystal beings appeared, all looking terrified. They were the leaders of the Zephyrian government. Human Commander, one of them said. We wish to discuss terms. We know we cannot fight you. Maya kept her expression serious. You voted to enslave my species. Why should we show you any mercy? The crystal being's form flickered with fear. Because you are better than us. Your victory proves that. Humans are the superior species. We were wrong to judge you. Maya considered this. Tell me why we shouldn't treat you the way you plan to treat us. Because, the alien leader said quietly, that would make you like us. And you've already proven you're nothing like us. Back on the captured flagship, President Carter met with the leaders of all 47 alien species. They sat in a large room that had been designed for alien council meetings. Now it served as a courtroom where humanity would decide their fate. You all voted to enslave Earth, President Carter began. You decided our species was too dangerous to exist freely. You were going to scatter our people across the galaxy as workers and servants. The alien leaders shifted nervously. Some looked ashamed. Others looked terrified. All of them knew they were completely at humanity's mercy. However, the president continued, we're not going to do the same thing to you, because that's not who we are. A murmur of surprise went through the alien prisoners. They had expected revenge. They had expected humans to treat them as cruelly as they had planned to treat humanity. Instead, President Carter announced, We're going to show you what human leadership actually looks like. Dr. Nathan Pierce entered the room, carrying a large folder of documents. He had been working with human diplomats to create a new plan for the galaxy. "We've studied your civilizations," Nathan said to the assembled aliens. "We've analyzed your governments, your economies, your social structures. We found the same problems everywhere." He opened the folder and pulled out charts and graphs. Resource inequality, territory disputes, trade conflicts. The same issues that caused wars on Earth for thousands of years, but humans learned how. To solve these problems, President Carter explained, "Every conflict taught us something new about cooperation. Every war showed us better ways to make peace." Jake Harrison entered the room with more human officials. They carried plans for reorganizing galactic civilization based on human principles of democracy and individual rights. "We're creating a new government for the galaxy," Jake announced. "The Terran Commonwealth. Every species will have representation. Every world will have protection. Every citizen will have rights." The alien leaders looked confused. You're giving us citizenship in your government." "Not just citizenship," President Carter replied. "Partnership. We're going to work together to build something better than the old Galactic Council." Zethkar's crystal form brightened slightly. "Why would you do this? We tried to destroy you." "Because," the president answered, "that's what humans do. We turn enemies into allies. We build cooperation from conflict. We create unity from diversity." General Marcus's Wright's voice came through the communication system from Earth. "All alien military forces have agreed to integration into the Commonwealth Defense Corps. They want to serve under human command." The room fell silent. The same aliens who had planned to enslave humanity now wanted to serve in human-led military forces. "You see," President Carter explained to the alien leaders, "you made one critical error in your judgment of humanity. You thought our capacity for war made us dangerous. Actually, it made us the best choice to lead the galaxy in peace." Dr. Rachel Moore displayed holographic images of human military doctrine. "Every human military strategy emphasizes protection of civilians, minimal casualties, and post-conflict reconstruction. We don't just win wars, we win the peace that follows. Your species fight to conquer," she continued. "Humans fight to protect. That's why your veterans become bitter and broken, while ours become leaders and teachers." The alien leaders began to understand humanity's history of conflict had not made them violent savages. It had made them experts at creating lasting peace from chaos and division. "The Terran Commonwealth will protect every species," President Carter announced, "including those who tried to harm us, because that's what strength really means. Having the power to destroy your enemies, but choosing to make them your friends instead." Over the following days, alien civilizations throughout the galaxy accepted human leadership, not because they were forced to, but because they finally understood that humans could give them something their own leaders never could: true peace and lasting security, the species that had voted to enslave. Earth discovered that their greatest mistake wasn't underestimating human military power. It was failing to understand that humanity's greatest strength had always been their ability to transform defeat into victory, enemies into allies, and war into peace under human leadership. The galaxy was about to experience something it had never known before: true unity. Admiral Lisa Rodriguez walked through the rebuilt Galactic Council chambers on the space station orbiting Earth. The massive room had been completely redesigned over the past 6 months. Instead of elevated platforms that put some species above others, every seat was at the same level. Instead of separated sections for different species, seating was mixed together. Today marked the first session of the new Terran Commonwealth Council. Representatives from all 47 alien species sat alongside human delegates. The same beings who had voted to enslave humanity now worked under human leadership to govern the galaxy. "The session will come to order," Lisa announced from the central podium. As the first Commonwealth Admiral, she had been chosen to oversee the transition to the new government. President Carter entered the chamber and took a seat among the other representatives. Unlike the old Galactic Council, the Commonwealth had no single supreme leader. Every decision required cooperation between multiple species. Today we vote on the Resource Sharing Act, Lisa continued. This law will ensure that all Commonwealth worlds have access to necessary materials and energy. The alien representatives listened carefully. Under the old system, powerful species hoarded resources, while weaker ones struggled. The human-designed Commonwealth system distributed everything fairly based on need rather than military strength. Zethkar raised one crystal arm to speak. The former alien commander now served as the representative for all crystal-based species. The Crystal Collective supports this proposal completely. We have seen how human resource management has improved conditions on our worlds. Other alien representatives nodded in agreement. In the 6 months since human occupation began, conditions had improved dramatically across the galaxy. Humans shared their technology freely and helped solve problems that had existed for centuries. Captain? Maya Thompson floated into the chamber, still wearing her Commonwealth Navy uniform. She had just returned from a patrol mission in the outer galaxy, where human and alien crews worked together on the same ships. Report from the frontier sectors, Maya announced. All patrol zones are secure. The joint crews are performing excellently. The integration of alien and human military forces had been surprisingly successful. Soldiers who had once planned to conquer Earth now served proudly in Commonwealth ships commanded by human officers. Dr. Nathan, a peer, stood to address the council. The biological restoration project has achieved remarkable results. We've successfully reversed environmental damage on 17 worlds using human biotechnology. The same biological agents that had destroyed the alien fleet during the invasion had been modified to repair ecosystems. Planets that had been polluted for generations were now green and healthy again. The Corvon homeworld reports that their ocean pollution has been completely eliminated, Nathan continued. The Thraxi colonies have seen forest coverage increase by 60%. General Marcus Wright entered the chamber wearing his new Commonwealth Defense uniform. The insignia showed Earth, surrounded by other planets, symbolizing humanity's protective role in the galaxy. Security report, Marcus announced. All former conflict zones are now peaceful. The Commonwealth Defense Corps has successfully mediated 43 territorial disputes without a single battle. The alien representatives looked amazed. Under the old Galactic Council, territorial disputes had led to wars that lasted for decades. Human-led forces had resolved all outstanding conflicts through negotiation and compromise. How do humans make peace so easily? Asked the Vorthan representative, a tall creature with purple skin and multiple eyes. General Wright smiled. Because we've learned that winning the peace is more important than winning the war. Every conflict we've ever fought taught us something new about preventing the next one. Dr. Rachel Moore activated a holographic display that showed the galaxies. New communication network. Bright lines connected every world in the Commonwealth, representing trade routes, information sharing, and cultural exchange. The Universal Translation Project is complete, Rachel announced. Every species can now communicate with every other species in real time. The translation technology was based on human linguistics research combined with alien computing power. For the first time in galactic history, every being could talk to every other being without barriers. This has eliminated most of the misunderstandings that caused conflicts in the past, Rachel explained. When everyone can truly understand each other, cooperation becomes much easier. Lieutenant Emma Davis presented the education statistics. The Commonwealth Education Initiative has established schools on over 300 worlds. Human and alien children are learning together. The integrated education system was already producing remarkable results. Young aliens and humans who grew up together saw each other as friends rather than potential enemies. They were creating a generation that would never know the prejudices of the past. Test scores are improving across all species, Emma reported. More importantly, surveys show that young people from different worlds consider themselves Commonwealth citizens first, and members of their birth species second. Commander Jake Harrison displayed military statistics on the main screen. Commonwealth forces now include members from all 47 species. Integration efficiency is at 94%. The alien soldiers had adapted quickly to human command structures. They appreciated the human emphasis on protecting civilians and minimizing casualties. Many alien veterans said they felt more proud serving under human officers than they ever had in their original armies. The most interesting development, Jake continued, is that alien officers are now requesting assignment to human-commanded units. They want to learn human leadership techniques. Colonel Steve Adams entered the chamber, leading a mixed group of human and alien officers. They represented the new Commonwealth Military Academy graduates, the first class trained under human methods. These officers will lead our next expansion mission, Steve announced. We've received requests for Commonwealth membership from 12 new species. The news caused excitement throughout the chamber. Species that had not been part of the original invasion were now asking to join the human-led government voluntarily. They've seen what we've accomplished here, Steve explained. They want the same peace and prosperity for their own worlds. President Carter stood to address the council. 6 months ago, you came to enslave us because you thought we were too violent for civilization. Today, species across the galaxy are asking us to bring them the peace we've created here. The alien representatives looked ashamed as they remembered their original intentions. They had planned to scatter humanity across the galaxy as slaves. Instead, humanity had given them the first true peace the galaxy had ever known. You judged us by our capacity for war, the president continued, but you missed the most important lesson of human history. Every war we fought taught us something new about making peace. Zethkar stood slowly, his crystal form now bright with hope instead of dim with fear. President Carter, on behalf of all species in this chamber, I want to say something we should have said months ago. The chamber fell silent as everyone waited for the crystal being to speak. Thank you, Zethkar said simply. Thank you for being better than us. Thank you for showing mercy when we deserved punishment. Thank you for teaching us what true strength really means. The other alien representatives stood and applauded, had learned that humanity's greatest power was not their weapons or their technology. It was their ability to forgive enemies, to build cooperation from conflict, and to create unity from diversity. Dr. Pierce activated a display showing the galaxy's current status. Green lights marked peaceful systems. Blue lights showed successful trade relationships. Yellow lights indicated ongoing construction projects. For the first time in recorded history, there were no red lights marking active conflicts. The galaxy is completely at peace, Nathan announced, not because we conquered our enemies, but because we turned them into our friends. Admiral Rodriguez looked around the chamber at the mixed group of humans and aliens working together. Species that voted to enslave Earth have discovered something they never expected. Under human leadership, they are freer, safer, and more prosperous than they ever were under their own governments. The irony was not lost on anyone. The aliens had wanted to enslave humanity to prevent them from being dangerous. Instead, humanity had freed the entire galaxy from the endless cycle of conflict that had dominated it. For thousands of years, as the council session ended, representatives from different species walked out together, making plans for joint projects and shared celebrations. Children from dozens of worlds played together in the station's gardens. Speaking multiple languages and considering it perfectly normal, Commander Harrison watched them and smiled. They were right about one thing, he said to Admiral Rodriguez. Humans are dangerous. We're dangerous to hatred, dangerous to prejudice, and dangerous to anyone who thinks peace is impossible. The galaxy had learned that humanity's greatest weapon was not their ability to wage war, but their ability to wage peace. Under human leadership, the Commonwealth grew stronger every day, welcoming new species and building a future where conflict was resolved through cooperation rather than conquest.